Another liberal stronghold, Seattle, Washington, learning the hard way what happens when you think that you can solve every problem by taxing the rich, taxing businesses more and more. Because, ladies and gentlemen, here is the reality. Those same businesses are the ones who are creating the jobs that people need, the jobs that create growth, the jobs that allow cities to thrive. And when you push them too far and make it harder for them to operate, harder for them to grow, yeah, they're not just going to sit around and take it. They're going to create an exit strategy. They're going to find a way to leave. And they're going to go where they are treated better, where the numbers make the most sense. And that's exactly what we've been seeing playing out across the country, whether it's Chicago, New York, and now we got Seattle. And in many cases, it's been red states coming out on top. And in this situation, the winner is the volunteer state, Tennessee.
And we continue following more breaking news. Starbucks making the official announcement that it is adding new headquarters in Nashville. Let's check in with Fox 13's Taylor Winkle, who is live at the Starbucks headquarters in Seattle with more. Good morning, Taylor.
Yeah, good morning, Maria. So they said that this is a $100 million investment into expanding the company. That press conference where we learned this just wrapped up about a half hour ago. Tennessee's governor took the podium to make the announcement. He said it means 2,000 more jobs for Tennessee. And it comes as we've reported the company signed a lease for a 250,000 square foot facility there. Leading up to this, we also found official job postings on Starbucks hiring portal, including several high-level corporate roles like director sourcing, global supply chain, and senior sourcing manager listed with the location Nashville rather than Seattle. It's unclear what will change back here at home in Seattle, but moving more operations to Tennessee could save the company millions. Tennessee doesn't have a payroll tax for high earners. Tennessee also has an excise tax, so they tax on profit. Here in Washington, we have a B&O tax that takes a cut out of every dollar of revenue, no matter if that dollar makes a profit or not. So if Starbucks sells $100 worth of coffee, but it costs $95 to produce that coffee with the price of electricity and beans and baristas and insurance, our state is taking a cut out of the 100. Tennessee would only take a cut out of the $5 profit.
Ladies and gentlemen, this isn't rocket science. I mean, take a look at the math. It's pretty cut and dry. Seattle, $100 sold, $95 to produce. You're still taxed on that $100. Doesn't matter if you made a profit off of it or not. Nashville, $100 sold, $95 to produce. You're only taxed $5. I mean, listen, I don't care how much you hate a corporation, you hate a business. Smart math is smart math. Nobody in their right mind is going to choose door number one when door number two keeps more money in your pocket, ladies and gentlemen. That's not how it works. I mean, this is another example of a blue city, blue state, moving like it's not competition out here in the USA. Basically, functioning leadership on the government level, pretending as if, well, we dare these businesses to leave. Seattle's just such a wonderful city. How could they? Why would they want to leave, right? That's almost how they come off. We've seen this happening several times now across these United States of America with these liberal, progressive cities who that want to just keep on taxing and taxing more. And businesses are deciding like, okay, well, you know what? We're going to head across the state lines to a red state. We're going to go somewhere where it's more beneficial for us to be there, where the tax climate is more favorable towards businesses. Because for a majority of businesses out there, their goal is to continue to grow. And it's harder to do that in a state that taxes you more and more. And so now you got the Seattle mayor melting down, saying, let's boycott Starbucks. Don't go to Starbucks. I think it's too little too late, but take a listen.
As Tennessee's Governor Bill Lee rolls out the red carpet for Starbucks.
And we are extremely grateful for you, Brian, for your team.
A sharp contrast to what Mayor Wilson said at a Starbucks workers rally in November, encouraging people to boycott the company.
I am not buying Starbucks, and you should not either.
Now there are mounting questions on what Tennessee's gain will mean for Washington.
We're establishing really a strategic presence. It really sets us up for our next leg of growth, the next chapter of growth for us.
Starbucks CEO Brian Nichols says the company will grow in Nashville, investing $100 million and adding 2,000 new jobs.
2,000 jobs, that just by that number, that's one of the 5 biggest jobs announcements in the city of Nashville's history. The average salary for these 2,000 Starbucks jobs is going to be $125,000 a year, and that's well above what the median household income is.
Adam Sitchko with the Puget Sound Business Journal says they expect more jobs to be added in Nashville in the coming years.
The company makes an initial move, and then it grows in a second stage, and then it grows in a third stage. And so these companies are certainly mobile, and they are flocking to where, some of those more affordable business costs are.
If you're Mayor Wilson or Governor Ferguson, behind closed doors, how worried should you be about this? Or is it just not that big of a deal?
I mean, again, half of the tax revenue in the state is funded by businesses, and our big businesses specifically contribute a ton of tax revenue to the state.
Washington Policy Center's Ryan Frost says Starbucks lowered their tax burden by $12,000 per year for every employee in Nashville compared to Seattle. Frost also says Washington is on par to lose up to $750 million in tax revenue over 2 decades, assuming a 3% annual growth for the company in Tennessee.
Seattle has just such a higher tax burden than Nashville does.
Well, the mayor's office has responded to the move, telling Fox 13, quote, Starbucks is a core part of Seattle's identity. We're proud to be home to its first store, its headquarters, and so many of the workers who make the company what it is. We're focused on maintaining a strong partnership with leadership and with employees so Starbucks continues to succeed in the city where it all began.
Yeah, and so you heard that. And listen, technically, Starbucks is going to be keeping a headquarters location in Seattle. They're just cutting down on jobs. Obviously, that's the major issue here. But we'll see how long that lasts. We'll see how long that lasts once they get settled in to Tennessee, that has a much lower tax burden that allows them to continue to grow and expand. We'll see how much they decide to say, hey, well, we'll keep on staying in Seattle, where we have this higher tax burden, where they're taking more of our money out of our pocket versus moving our entire operation as far as headquarters to a more favorable state. Personally, I think they're doing it this way right now to soften the blow. They were established and began in Seattle, and so just to pretty much completely shut everything down in one foul swoop. They didn't want to go that route. I'm sure they probably did a bunch of research on how that might damage the brand and things of that nature, and so they're going to slow walk it as far as I'm concerned. We'll see where this goes in a couple years.
Starbucks, a company synonymous with Seattle, may be looking to change its brew. The company says it'll open a new headquarters in Nashville and transition jobs to Tennessee. Good evening, I'm Molly Shen.
And I'm Preston Phillips. This move creates new questions for the future of the company that was built right here in Seattle. The new offices are nearly 2,400 miles away from the company's current home in Seattle's Soto neighborhood. Today, the company did make references to the business and tax climate in that state. Couple City reporter Chris Daniels has new reaction from Seattle's elected leaders and what Starbucks is saying about its long-term plans. He's live this evening at the company's headquarters in Soto. Chris?
Preston, make no mistake about it. Starbucks has been looking for office space outside of Seattle for months now, likely frustrated by a Seattle mayor that has been appearing at protests outside stores, the labor unrest within Starbucks and its stores, and the higher taxes that have been approved in Washington state and the city of Seattle. I am told that Starbucks has been actively looking for office space in Bellevue, but has now pivoted to the volunteer state and the lower tax threshold there. It is a company synonymous with this skyline.
Great coffee, a specialty coffee, and a brand that you can always trust.
Just ask Orlando Curtin, who hails from Philadelphia. When you think about Starbucks, does any city come to mind?
Seattle. Yes, Seattle, Washington.
Yet Starbucks will move Seattle jobs east in a plan that has been brewing for months. And it is hard not to read into the words of Starbucks CEO Brian Nichols.
You guys have created a really strong business climate, a skilled workforce, and frankly, conditions that just are conducive to us being able to expand our footprint.
Nichols said it at the formal announcement to build out a 250,000 square foot headquarters in the Peabody Union Building on the Cumberland River, with Starbucks saying it will hire and transition jobs to Nashville, a slow drip over the course of the next 5 years.
Yeah, so you could just tell by how the CEO is talking about Seattle. He ready to get up out of there. He ready. He got nothing but good things to say about Tennessee. Like, y'all done set it up so nicely over here for our business. We see growth, opportunity. We see nothing but green pastures. You think he's saying that about Seattle right now? No. And this is why Democrats are cooked, because they're embracing the far left of their party to take over. The Zoran Mamdani's, the Brandon Johnsons, Seattle mayor, the Karen Bass types in Los Angeles. If Democrats are saying this is our platform now, more government programs, more taxes on businesses to fund those programs, right? More telling people they can depend on the government to go after these businesses and basically shake them down, then we are only going to see, ladies and gentlemen, we're only going to see a continuation of what's happening right now. And the winners in all of this have been red states: Texas, Florida, Tennessee. You got the Bears on the verge of moving to Indiana right now. And so people and businesses vote with their feet over time because they realize a sinking ship when they see one. And that's been the Democrat Party.
No contract. No profit.
In a move that has been percolating after Seattle's Mayor Katie Wilson joined labor leaders in a protest outside a Starbucks store, the state legislature and city of Seattle approved new business and income taxes, plus the closure of 2 local landmark roasteries, including the tourist draw on Seattle's Capitol Hill.
Foot traffic has dropped 50% on the Hill just in that area alone, right?
Seattle City Council President Joy Hollingsworth acknowledges the numbers, like the recent report by Wallet Hub placing Washington with the 25th highest tax burden of all 50 states, and Tennessee with the 3rd lowest.
Wow. And so I want to do something real quick. Let's see how many of these states are Democrat ran by a Democrat governor versus a Republican governor. I mean, this is going to tell you everything, but it kind of gives you an idea as far as things go. And so, number one, you know, they already put it down there for us. The highest tax state is Hawaii, which is a Democrat-led state. Alaska is the lowest, which is a Republican state. Who's number 2? Number 2 is New York. We know that's a Democrat state. Number 3 is Vermont. Vermont is actually a Republican-led state. So we got, so far out of the top 3, 2 of them are Democrat, 1 Republican. Number 4, where's number 4 at? Can we find 4 quickly? I want to kind of go through this relatively fast. New Mexico. Democrat governor, Democrat-led state. Number 5. Number 5, where's number 5 at? We got all the way at the top. Where's that? Maine, Democrat-led state. Number 6. Well, I see number 7, and we're going to get this one out the way right away. Maryland, we know that's a Democrat-led state. Can we find 6 quickly? Number 6. Illinois, we know that's another Democrat state. So right now, we did the top 7, and we got 1 Republican state that has the highest tax burdens in the U.S. Top 7 so far. Number 8. Well, number 9. Number 9. We got Oregon, so we got to add that in there. That's another Democrat-run state. Number 8. You got New Jersey, another Democrat-run state. Where's number 10 at? And number 10 is Rhode Island, which is another Democrat state. So top 10 highest tax burden states. One of them is a Republican governor, Republican-run state. The other 9. Democrat. And I'm sure if we go the opposite really quickly, number 50 with the lowest tax burden, you got Alaska, which has its issues, but you got Alaska right there. We can add this one in already, 47. You got Florida, Republican state. They just spoke about Tennessee being in the top 3, 48. Tennessee, where's 49 at? Number 49, you got New Hampshire. New Hampshire is another Republican-run state, and so we skipped our way over there. Now we got, 46? 44, we got Wyoming, Republican-run state. 45, South Dakota and North Dakota, Republican-ran states. I skipped over a few. What you got? 48 we already said. 47 we already said. 46, where's 46 at? 46 is Delaware. Delaware is a Democrat-run state. 42, 41, you got Oklahoma, Republican-run state. 42, I think, is the only one we're missing. 42 and 4, we already did 43. 42 is Idaho, Republican-run state. And so, while some of these states may not have the infrastructure when you talk about population size, things of that nature, major cities that are showing a lot of growth. When you talk about Tennessee, you know, you got Nashville out there. So while I'm not trying to make the point and say, well, that's the only variable that should be taken into consideration as far as what's the tax burden, but it's a big factor. And so when you add that in, plus obviously the population growth, plus infrastructure, what we're finding is that Republican-run states typically offer lower tax burdens and Democrat-run states are offering higher tax burdens.
A factor for Starbucks to follow the trail blazed by Amazon to relocate corporate employees to the Music City years ago.
The reality is that businesses on all levels are a part of our future. They're a part of our plan moving forward. They're part of the Seattle fabric.
But that fabric may be a little worn with this shot across the bow and a notice that the siren is on the move. The Starbucks CEO, Nickel, did call Seattle the global headquarters today. But again, reading between the lines, it certainly appears that there will be multiple jobs going to Tennessee and fewer jobs than the thousands that were here at the Starbucks headquarters in SoDo just a few years ago. Now, just a short time ago, I did get a statement from Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson's office about this news, saying in part, Starbucks is a core part of Seattle's identity. We're proud to be home to its first store, and we're focused on maintaining a strong partnership with leadership and with employees so Starbucks continues to succeed in the city where it all began. But this is a story that is not going away anytime soon. For now, live at the corporate headquarters for now in Seattle, I'm Chris Daniels.
All right, Chris, thank you. That brings us to our Como Pulse poll tonight. Scan this QR code that's on your screen to participate as we're asking, do you think Seattle's leadership creates a business-friendly climate? Here's a live look at the results. Right now, you can see most people, 93%, say no and getting worse. Just 4% say yes and only 3% say not entirely but improving. Again, if you'd like to weigh in, scan the code on your screen. It'll take you.
Yeah, so get this. They did a poll. Seattle locals, people in Seattle, this is for the Seattle news station out there. Do you think Seattle's leadership creates a business-friendly climate? A majority of the people, 93%, that's not even close, say no, it's getting worse. Yet when it came time to elect the next leader of their city, the mayor, they went with the most liberal socialist candidate that they could find. Listen, it's hard to feel bad for these people. They're digging their own graves and they're going to have to figure life out the hard way when it comes to believing that when government tells you that, yeah, more government is the way. Being more dependent on us is better than allowing businesses to flourish and create jobs and economic growth and stimulate the city. No, let us take the money from them and then we can figure out what's best to do with it. Yeah, and so Starbucks is definitely leaving Seattle. They're just taking their time with it, doing it in phases, not just one foul swoop as far as things go. And because the people of Seattle thought it was a great idea to elect the mayor, who then thought it was a smart idea to protest against the very business that brings economic opportunity into your city, rather than sit down and say, maybe we should figure out some way to actually work together with these people, because they do add a great amount of value to the city of Seattle. They have been a staple in Seattle. And so rather than going out and protesting, rather than actually doing everything we can in our power to push them out the door to the loving arms of Tennessee, let's figure out a way to work together with them to keep them here, because it's what's best for the city. But like I said, people vote with their feet. I left the state of New Jersey. Now I live in Texas, because greener pastures, and people will continue to always kind of operate in that fashion where they want to go where they can have a better quality of life, where they're not going to get taxed insanely and it's going to ruin their quality of life. That is especially relevant and important for businesses that are continuously looking for ways to grow and expand. Now let me hear back from you. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments down below. Appreciate when you guys chime in. Smash that thumbs up if you do enjoy the content. Subscribe for more, and as always, until next time.